Hello everyone, my name is Jocelyn, you may call me Joy, and in this video I am going to teach you all about stretching piercings because I have finally decided to make the commitment to stretching my septum piercing, which is this one here. I am, full disclosure, not a professional piercer, but I am someone who has stretched successfully several piercings. Most noticeable of these are, of course, in my ears. We have two stretched here and one here. As well as one in a very private area. About 3-4 days ago, I changed the jewellery in my septum. And this is the first time I've changed that. I was wearing a retainer, which I will pop some footage up now so that you can see the difference between what I have been wearing ever since I got pierced up till now. So in order to stretch a piercing properly, there are a few things that must be observed. Safety is key. Good health is key. A piercing must be fully healed before even attempting to stretch. And of course it must be kept clean. The main thing that you must remember about stretching is the word slowly. Far too often I have seen videos of people who have stretched their piercings far too quickly and then the skin breaks or has a blowout. It's a very sort of unattractive response that the skin does, where it just kind of blows up in scar tissue. So slowly is the way to go, okay? I have had this piercing for longer than I can remember. Must be at least 15 years. So let's talk about size. Now, for this particular part of the video, I will put gauge to millimeter conversions on the screen whenever I am talking about sizes, because for the benefit of my American viewers, you might be thinking, well, what does this mean? And I want to go off on a little side rant right now. When I was looking this up, it makes no sense. America, what are you doing? In the rest of the world, we use millimeters, okay? That means that something is a certain width. We describe it, how wide it is, in millimeters. So the jewellery that I started my septum with was 1.2 millimeters thick. The jewellery that is currently in my septum is 1.6 millimeters. The numbers are slowly increasing because the thickness is increasing. This is logical. In the US, you don't do this. You have a system called gauge, which the larger, the thicker the jewellery is, the smaller the number is, up until a certain point where you've got 00, because 0 wasn't enough. Now you've got 00. And then anything thicker than that, you just measure in fractions of inches. Which means that the numbers increase as the thickness increases. Like, what are you doing? America, explain! Now, I don't intend to go too big with this because my nose is fairly small anyway, and it is a very central feature of the face. meaning that a little attention is going to appear a lot. So with that in mind, I plan on going up to 3 millimeters and see how I feel at that point. Now this is fairly comfortable. It was a little on the tight side to try and get in, which is of course natural because you're putting a 1.6 in a 1.2 hole. Like, it's going to be a little tight. That's fine, that's normal. I'm going to leave this in for the next 2 months or so. I'm just not even going to be bothered to do anything with it. Just let it sit there for a while. Then I'm going to size up again, probably to a 2 mil, and then leave that for a few more months, and then stretch that up. And this is my process. I normally, with my ears, what I did was I changed the jewellery for something a bit thicker, and then a month or two down the line changed the jewellery for something else a bit thicker than that, and then another couple of months like add an earring. And I used to have like a big cluster of earrings in the one hole when I was stretching this, because it was just so easy to just add another small earring after each like month or so. And this is what I mean when I'm saying slowly. Stretching should occur slowly. If when stretching you experience pain, you're doing it too fast and you need to take out the size that you have and go back down a size. This will prevent the bad side effects from happening, such as tearing and blowouts. So with the method that I've used, which is changing up jewellery to bigger sizes and then adding more earrings as and when, like with this method, I've been successfully able to stretch these 3 holes in my ears. This one here is a 6 millimeter. This one here is a 10 millimeter. And this one here is 14 millimeters. I have also been able to stretch the that is down below. Again, very successfully, very healthily, very slowly, because the skin down there does stretch quite well. And I started at a 2 millimeters on that one, and it is now at 4. I understand that there is a temptation to rush these things. However, it is so important that you don't. There are hideous methods that I've seen online of people shoving like one piercing and then shoving tapers in, and then shoving another taper in, and then shoving another taper in, like stretching this freshly pierced skin in the space of like 20 seconds. This is the wrong way to do it, because it causes the flesh to rip and tear, and of course it's very, very painful. What you want is nice, strong, healthy skin around the piercing jewellery to be able to hold it there. You don't want to damage or injure your skin for the sake of this, because it ain't worth it. Slow, steady gets you way better results. Trust me, I've done this. This is my biggest taper. This is the 14 that I sometimes wear here. Now there is a little bit of an issue, sort of contention in the piercing world of you shouldn't wear tapers as jewellery. I don't see the problem with this. I think they make rather attractive pieces in your body parts. Obviously this is not going anywhere into my septum. This is not the right shape or size or anything, but it I think it looks pretty good when it's in the ear. It is just a question of personal taste. Like, I am wearing a taper right now, and it's certainly not in the way. It's not really huge. It's not a big deal, really. So I say go for it. It's your body, your choice. Like, you do what you want. As long as you have stretched safely and slowly, why does it matter what's in there? Like, there's just a plain black hooked taper. It looks fine. I'm back again with another little update. As you can see, my nose jewellery has changed. So a week ago, I sized up from the 1.6mm to the 2mm ring, which you see right now. I left it a very adequate amount of time in between sizing up. So when I did my original, like, first sizing up to the 1.6, that was in early February. Sizing up again to the 2mm, that is early May. So that's 3 months. However, although I left it an adequate amount of time, I didn't realise at the time that this was too big of a jump to go to. 0.4 of a millimetre is apparently too fast to go. Now, with an ear piercing, I could quite easily go from a 1.6 to a 2. With the nose, however, no, that hurt. And stretching should never hurt. So, yeah, it's feeling okay now. It's still a little bit sore if I poke it the wrong way, but generally speaking, it's okay now. It took about a week to, like, get over the soreness, because I didn't think. I just, like, got the jewellery, made it wet to make it, like, slide in easier, pushed it through, then the pain. Not the most ideal situation there. So be aware of that if you are stretching, that stretching your nose is a lot different from stretching your earlobes. And you do have to go up in much smaller increments. Like I said, the amount of time I waited, 3 months, that was perfectly adequate, but the like size jump was just a little too big for my nose to handle, or for my septum to handle anyway. Now, as you can see, it does look a bit like a door knocker on my face. It's big. It's a little bit cumbersome, but having the ball rest right here makes me think that a Medusa piercing would absolutely suit me. It's been something I've been thinking about for a little while, but now I know for certain. Hello, it's update time. So it is now the beginning of June. My birthday was in fact yesterday. Happy birthday to me. I am now shockingly 39. And I'm still doing this, proving that it's not a phase. No. So, here's the situation with my septum at the moment. As you can see, I have taken out the very big ring, and I'm now wearing 2 individual rings. If I get up close, you'll be able to see I am wearing the 1.2 in front of the 1.6 through the same hole, which is rather exciting. That's what I like to call progress. And this was the most comfortable configuration of all my jewellery that I could find whilst still sizing up. It's just a case of sizing up very slowly. So yeah, from the 2mm up to these 2, and then in about a month or 2's time, I plan on changing the 1.2 for a second 1.6. So I'll have two 1.6s in there. After that, hopefully that will be enough to get me up to the final hurdle, the final jewellery. I'm so excited about it because it's just sitting there in my jewellery case and it looks so badass and awesome, and I can't wait to actually wear it. But until then, I'm thinking it will probably be around about mid-August, early September, that sort of time, when the piercing will be finally stretched up enough to wear the 3mm bar, the 3mm jewellery. Until then, I have this rather strange and unique configuration going on, and it's rather cool. So it was a lot easier sizing up from the 2mm up to these two than it was going from the 1.6 to the 2. So that gives you an idea of how the sizes sort of work. In terms of like when you put them together, because a 1.6 plus a 1.2 is not like 2.8. It doesn't work that way. At least not when it comes to the diameter of the entire piercing hole. So yeah, there's my little update. Can't wait to mash all of this together in one big edit as well. That'll be fun, because you'll be able to see my progress in one over the course of half a year. I've never done a project like this before. It's unusual, but I like it. Anyway, I'm going to continue doing my daily stuff now, and I will be back with more progress. Hey everyone! So I have, as you can see, my makeup on. I'm going out later, and I thought now would be a really good time to talk about the Septum. Let's catch up with that, see how she's doing. So it's now mid-June, and I sized up already because it just sort of felt like the right time, and it was. So I now have two 1.6mm rings in the Septum. Horseshoe at the front and then a normal BCR at the back. BCR equals ball closure ring, not Bridgewater Central Radio or whatever the hell it was. BCR FM. Those were the days. Anyway, let's show you let's show you the progress. So here we have the front ring and the back ring, and they are, like I said, both 1.6mm in diameter. So it's getting there, it's progress. When I changed this in, I was in the shower, so everything was nice and wet and loose, and I could feel it, but it was not painful, which is a good sign that it's, you know, the right time. It felt, I don't know, stretched, for lack of a better word. It felt stretched. It felt, if I pushed my nose, it felt, I don't know, like a little bit tender for 2 days. But it definitely didn't feel painful. It wasn't uncomfortable. And of course now it feels fine. I can waggle it around and there's no issues here at all. Of course I still want to be careful with the piercing, because obviously any damage that it incurs now would set me back a long way, and I don't really want to have to deal with that. What you may be wondering now is, well, isn't it big enough for the big jewellery, the big thing? Because you've got a 1.6 plus a 1.6, surely that's a 3.2. That's big enough for your 3mm. No, it doesn't really work that way. Let me explain with this oh so scientific diagram of my nose. So here's my nose. It's obviously this way on. This is the piercing hole inside my septum. So we have the 1.6 millimeter next to a 1.6 millimeter. So it is technically 3.2 millimeters this way, but it is not 3.2 millimeters this way. If anything, it's just 1.6. And I need the hole to accommodate 3 millimeters all the way around the diameter, which means more stretching, more like bigger jewellery to go in later. It means taking things slowly. I'm quite happy with the way this looks. It doesn't look too encumbered or anything. The fact that there's a black ball in between the two silver balls, it's a little strange, but it's not like terrible. And I think that, well, I'm planning on leaving this as it is until the end of July / early August, just to really like make sure I do not go too fast with this. Like I've said many times in this video already, I'm sure, that going too fast, rushing, is how you balls this all up. I'm going to continue to get ready now, and then I will go out tonight to celebrate my friend's birthday. So, yay. Catch you later. Bye. Alright, so it is currently hotter than Satan's anus in here. It is the end of July, and I have just changed my jewellery again. I'm not wearing makeup because it will just melt the fuck off. So let's just talk about the piercing, shall we? So previously I was wearing 2 rings that were both 1.6s. I am now wearing a stretcher. Let's take a look at this. So this is a proper stretcher that at one end is, I think it's 1.2 or 1.6 at this end. And at this end, it is a 3. Okay, this is the goal. This is the target. And this finally fits in here comfortably enough to be able to stick it in and leave it there. It is, I mean, I've pushed it in enough so that it is like, I can feel it stretchy. It's stretching the hole. Could even do with being back there a little bit, but this is quite comfortably shy of this nostril right here. Yes, you get to see up my nose. It's fabulous. So we've got enough room here, which shows you that I'm nearly there at my goal. By the end of August, I should have been able to change to the final ring. But we're just going to leave this here as it is for now, and slowly over the course of the next few weeks just edge it this way so that the hole can accommodate the 3 millimeter. Oh, and then it'll be glorious and it'll be finished and I won't have to bother with this anymore, because it's just it's taking a long time. It has been a long time. It is a process that deserves to take a long time. There are no shortcuts when it comes to stretching without serious consequences. Although I do feel that stretching my ears definitely wasn't this long. I could add more and stretch more quicker with the earlobes than I could with the septum. But anyway, that's the progress that we're on at the moment. Like I said, it's actually the 31st of July today. So literally it's been 2 months with the 2 rings and now we're up to this. It's getting there, and it's nice to be able to progress with something when it comes to my appearance that I want, and also that doesn't cost anything, because most of the other things I want at the moment, like tattoos and piercings and things like that, They all cost money that I don't have, so this is the extent of the control that I have, you know, can exert on my looks at the moment, and it's nice to have this progress here. All right. Update. It is mid-August, the 16th to be precise, and ta-da! So this is the beautiful jewellery that I've been keeping so long hidden from you and just staring at it every so often longingly, just really wanting to put it in, and it finally fits. And it's gorgeous. Let's take a little bit of a closer look. So these little ridges here are just gorgeous. The ends are very, very pointy. And if I shift it to where it's actually in the middle, this part is poking me. So I have to adjust it slightly so that it's not actually doing that. It looks so cool. It's not too big. I don't think it's too big anyway. It's stretched, but it's, like I said, I don't think it's too big. It's 3mm at the thickest point, which is actually closer to here than here. But still, it fits, and it's lovely, and it's cool, and it's badass. And that is the whole journey, the whole process of stretching a piercing for, what's it been now, 5 months, 6 months, 5 months-ish. With my bar that I had in the most recently, I also had a little bit of a problem where, like, while I was washing my face, it just went through, and that kind of hurt a little bit. So I had to make sure that it wasn't pushing too soon. But now, full mobility, zero pain, absolutely great. Love it, love it, love it. I will wear this for as long as I can, because I can't stop looking at it. My camera's here, but the screen is here. And I can't, that's nice. That's very nice. It's supposed to look like that, but that is poking me and it's uncomfortable. So we're going to... So there we go. There's the big reveal on the septum, stretching, and also the jewellery, and also the whole process. Like... This is going to be a bit of a wild journey to look back on and edit. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas, suggestions, thoughts on stretching that you have done or would like to do. And yeah, see you next time. Non-binary piercing, stretching of septums is valid. Let's face it, the septum piercing is the non-binary piercing. Okay. Ciao.